really fun show for you today. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for jumping in there. Hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day. So kick back, relax, and let's see what happens here. We got a good show for you today. Let's get a few more people on here before we get started. We'll talk about the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show while we wait for everybody to get on here. So once again, thank you very much for being a part of the show. Thank you very much for all your support, everybody. I really, really appreciate it. Those of you over on Instagram or on TikTok, we have a phenomenal show planned for you on Friday. I told you we were going to announce it today, as long as everything went smooth. And everything went smooth today with our test. So we are announcing the big show today. But I want to tell you all, on Instagram and TikTok, according to those websites, we cannot post this live on Instagram or TikTok on the show on Friday. So if you want to watch the show Friday, and believe me, you do want to watch the show on Friday, you're going to have to jump on YouTube. Or I know it's scary, but those of you on Instagram don't understand that the owner of Instagram is the same owner of Facebook. But I know you're scared to death of Facebook, so maybe go to YouTube and watch. But you're going to want to watch the show, because we're going to have the one and only Paul Hebert from Wicked Tuna, the Wicked Pissa, is going to be on the show live with me on Friday. It's going to be a big deal. Paul's super excited. He's got all kinds of cool stuff to talk to all of you about. Paul will be on the show, and it's going to be insane, gang. Paul and I, we have a little bit of history. We go back quite a ways, and he's very excited to be on my show. He said he's very, very excited to meet all of you and talk to you. Unfortunately, this year he can't be at the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show, but Dave Marciano will be there. Dave's another friend of mine and a friend of the industry. Dave will be at the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show. Thank you, everybody, for wishing me a happy birthday. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yep, big 61 years old today. But like I told Kelly Girl, we're not going to let down our fans. We're going to do our show. And those of you that are VIP members of Your Saltwater Guide, we have a big VIP meeting tonight. You should have got that Zoom. If you didn't, and you're members, and if you're not a member of the VIP, that's why you didn't get the invitation to the Zoom meeting. But we got a good Zoom meeting tonight. We're going to be talking about white sea bass. But thank you all for joining us. Don't forget this shirt right here that we're showing you right now on the show. This shirt, it's back there behind me hanging up. This shirt's going to get you free stuff at the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Festival. If you show up wearing this shirt, Your Saltwater Guide shirt, at the Pacific Coast Festival at the Orange County Fairgrounds, the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th of March, you're going to get free stuff. Kelly Girl has a giant bag of free stuff to give you. So make sure that you get your shirt. And if you haven't got it already, you're not going to be able to get it sent to you in time. It will not show up in time. It will not show up in time. So make sure you call us at 949-374-0786. And we'll hey, there's Marley. Hey, Marley. He wanted to be on the show today. He told me before we started, "Can I be on your birthday show, Dad?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely, son." And there he is, crawling around the background. Those of you on Insta, there he is on my right shoulder. YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, he's over here on my left shoulder. Those of you on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Megaphone, you guys will be able to hear this interview with Paul Hebert. It'll post across all social media platforms. But if you want to watch it live, which is always fun to watch things live because you never know what Paul or I might say. The really cool thing about my show is this is not edited. We do it live. We bring it live to you every day, Monday through Friday. You can watch it on YouTube. You can watch it on Facebook. You can watch it on TikTok and Instagram. But the one thing we can't do on TikTok and Instagram is give you the Paul Hebert show live. So you're going to have to go to YouTube and watch it, or you're going to have to go to Facebook and watch it. But we can give it to you live on YouTube and Facebook on Friday. So hopefully you join us for that live presentation. If not, I hope you enjoy it. It's always available on my website, yoursaltwaterguide.com. We always put up the shows right after they're over. And also, Elliot and I are super excited to let you know that our app will be fully functional by the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Festival. Yep, the very best app ever made for fishermen. This will cover you. I don't care where you fish. This will cover you anywhere in the world because we go through the basics and we have a phenomenal amount of stuff that'll work anywhere. And it's all about the fundamentals of fishing. In this app, you're going to have full access no matter where you are, and this app will be fully functional. But here we go. We're going to get started on our show today. We got big news, gang. If you haven't been paying attention, and a lot of people don't watch the news anymore, so I'm going to let you know what's going on here. Southern California, if the National Marine Weather Service is correct, and it very well could be, if the National Marine Weather Service is correct, and windy.com is correct, and buoy is correct, this is going to be the biggest storm we've seen in a very long time in Southern California. And I know we've gone through some great storms here in the last 3 or 4 months in Southern California, but this one that is headed for us tonight is a whopper. By midnight tonight, those of you in Southern California, Dana Point is going to be experiencing, by midnight tonight, 30 knots of wind on the beach. It's going to be blowing harder on the water. If you have a boat anywhere in Southern California and you haven't looked at it lately, today's the day. When this is done, you want to go tell your boss you've got to leave work early. It's time to go check out your boat. Make sure it's tied up correctly. Make sure you have enough lines on there to keep it tied up. Make sure your bilge pumps are working because it's going to start raining tomorrow around noon, and it's supposed to rain all the way through till Sunday. And this is going to be the coldest storm we've seen in a very long time. The snow levels are going to be down below 1,000 feet. This is a whopper storm. While you're listening to me and watching me right now, if you want to do something fun, go to windy.com. It's a free app. It's absolutely free. And go look at this weather that's about to hit Southern California. I have never seen this color on the wind chart for the coast. I guess we would call it magenta or maybe even purple. It is the most gnarliest wind event I've seen on the coast of Southern California in a very long time. I want to put out something to all of my listeners and all of my viewers. Gang, if you could go down to the beaches tomorrow, those of you, Dan, Kim, all of you that are retired that don't have to go to that JOB thing tomorrow, go down to the beaches by your local piers. I'm not trying to put out a bunch of negativity, but if you can go down there and film what is going to happen and send this footage to me, we will post it across all social media. We will credit you if you need help building your YouTube channel or your TikTok or Instagram or Facebook or whatever you're trying to build. What you're going to see tomorrow is going to be nothing but extraordinary as far as weather goes. Those places that have wooden piers still, there's a very good chance that those piers are not going to make it through tomorrow. 15 to 25 foot seas in the channel between Catalina and the beach. This is remarkable. We haven't seen anything like this in a very long time. Me and a couple of my buddies were talking earlier today. 83 rings a bell. And if you remember what happened in 83, this storm has got the magnitude to actually move break walls along the California coast. The rocks can actually get moved by the amount of energy that's going to be created by this storm, gang. This is not one to mess around with. I hope I'm wrong. Gosh, I hope I'm wrong and it just goes by and there's nothing involved. I hope so. But I can read weather pretty well, and I'm looking at this thing. And I want all of you to go look right now on windy.com because it's a free app. You can go pay for other apps, but go to windy.com. Go to Dana Point and move the map along and watch what this wind does today. And watch where it ends up at midnight tonight. And all day tomorrow, it's going to be blowing 30 knots on the beach at Dana Point. It's going to be blowing harder up north. It's going to be blowing harder down south. Then this thing gets really crazy. It gets really, really weird. Yeah, Redondo Beach, King Harbor's got a real good chance of having some problems. But this thing starts to get really weird on Friday. If you watch it and you start to track it on Windy, this funnel effect, it's going to be the weirdest thing I've ever seen. All of a sudden, it makes this hard, screaming turn to the left. And then it brings all this energy up from the Baja. And all of a sudden, the wind goes from 25 to 30 knots out of the west to 15 to 20 out of the southeast, which is really, for Southern California, that's our worst nightmare when that wind comes out of the southeast. And if you watch what it does, it has the hardest line I've ever seen on Friday afternoon and Saturday. I've never seen such a hard line. It's showing that it can be blowing at Avalon 2 knots, and it can be blowing 25 in San Diego out of the southeast. It can be blowing 2 knots if this weather is right. And just follow it, like I'm saying. Go to windy.com and just look at this. I've never seen anything like this. It's extraordinary. Take pictures of it. But those of you that go down to the beaches tomorrow and get this stuff on your camera phone or get this stuff on your GoPro, if you send it to me, we will post it. We will credit you. We will give you full credit. We'll help build your YouTube channel, build your Instagram, build your TikTok. We have over, I don't know, somewhere around 270,000, 280,000 followers right now, and it goes up every single day. We will post your stuff on our site and we will share it with everybody. Thank you, everybody. Mike Lewis, Augie, everybody that's wishing me a happy birthday. Thank you very, very much. Yeah, big 61 years old today. But this weather pattern, this weather is incredible. And it's going to be the coldest it's been in a very, very long time. And I know you guys are going, oh, it's been cold here in Southern California all winter, Dave. You have no idea. You live in Cabo. I can see what's going on, gang. The snow level is going to be below 1,000 feet. The Ortega Highway is going to have snow on it tomorrow night. It's going to be absolutely incredible. Those of you that are just joining the show, and we have quite a few people watching right now, I just want to let you know, Paul Hebert, Paul, Wicked Pissa from Wicked Tuna, he will be joining us on the show on Friday. Live interview with Paul. It's going to be insane. It's going to be so fun because Paul has so much energy and he's just as passionate about fishing as I am. And you're going to get to hear the real story behind Paul Hebert and where he came from. And you're going to be blown away when you find out really who he is and what it's all about and how far he's come from when they first contacted him to be on the show. His history goes way past this show, and you're going to really enjoy it. But I think it's super necessary for me to talk about this. That's how you know this show's live. This storm that's going to hit us tonight in Southern California is no joke. Those of you with boats, Dan, Kim, Augie, Mike, Greg, all of you that have boats tied up, Max and Wes and everybody that has a boat tied up the dock, or if you have a boat on a trailer in your backyard, pull the plugs out. Get the plugs out. It's going to rain starting tomorrow around noon, and it's going to rain all the way through Saturday. They're talking about a phenomenal amount of water that Southern California can't handle because we've already had a phenomenal amount of water. So everything's saturated already. So this is going to be the one that they're going to talk about for years and years and years. Try to get as much footage as you can. If you want to send it to me, I will be more than happy to credit you, and we'll put it up and we'll drag people to your site. The one thing I can't do is if you already put it up on your page, I can't use it, okay? But if it's brand new content and you would like me to share it for you and help build your social media platform, please send me your stuff tomorrow. And if you don't, still go film this because you're going to want to show your children, your grandchildren. I wish we had cameras and stuff in 1983. I would have loved to have filmed all the piers falling down. It's tragic. I know it's tragic, but I can't control Mother Nature and neither can you, but at least you can watch it and film it. And those of you back east, it's like a giant nor'easter here. what's about to happen. And we live in Southern California where if it blows 5 to 10 knots, we're all freaking out. It's super rough. It is going to be absolutely incredible. 30 knots sustained wind all day tomorrow. All day tomorrow. That's going to make that ocean incredibly gnarly, but it's going to be fun to film. If you could go film it from the bluff at Dana Point or the beach in San Clemente or up by the piers, anywhere, Oceanside Pier is it's going to be very sad what's going to happen to Oceanside Pier tomorrow. You want to film it. You want to get this stuff on camera, gang. I'm just trying to share with you what is going to happen. And please try to get as much as you can on film, but try to be ready for Friday, gang. You don't want to miss Friday's show with the Wicked Piss of Paul. He's going to be funnier than heck. He's already cracking me and Elliot up just trying to get the show ready. You guys will love Paul's story. And he's just a real passionate human about fishing. You're going to love all that. But I thought today's show should have been more about weather. That's why I keep talking about weather and less about Paul. Tomorrow's show, we will be opening it up to questions. And you guys can send in your questions tomorrow and Thursday if you have stuff you want me to ask Paul. We're not going to open up the show on Friday to questions because Paul's time is so valuable. And Wicked Tuna starts on the 26th, the brand new episode. So he's going to have a ton to talk about. He's super busy, man. He's promoting his show all over the place. And I am so blessed that he's going to take a little bit of time out of his busy day. The last thing I want to do is inundate him with a bunch of questions. So if you have some questions that you would like me to ask Paul, send them to me tomorrow, or you can start sending them now. 949-374-0786. If they're good questions and they deserve to be asked, I will ask Paul while we have him. He's blessing us. He's given us an hour. And if you've ever listened to Paul talk, if you've ever seen him speak anywhere, an hour is not enough time for this man. And I know we're going to go over, but I told him, just give me an hour. And he's like me. He gets passionate about a subject. He's going to talk about it. And it'll probably last longer than an hour, but he's given us an hour of his time, so it should be pretty spectacular. Yep, starting this afternoon it will hit, but it's not going to be full force until midnight tonight. At midnight tonight, it's going to be blowing 30 sustained wind, 30 knots all night long in Dana Point. Why do I keep using Dana Point? Well, if you don't know, my family's been in Dana Point since they built the harbor in 1971. So that's why I always use Dana Point as a reference point to what's going on, gang. And it's pretty much dead center between LA and San Diego. So that's my focal point all the time. What is about to happen is going to be incredible. If we can get some cool footage from some of you tomorrow morning, we'll post it on our show tomorrow. If you can send me some really cool footage, we'll post it on the show. We'll be talking about what's going on tomorrow on the show. We'll have some inside information from some people. But if you have a boat on a trailer, make sure you don't have your drain plug in because the water is going to be incredible. Those of you that have your boats covered with a cover, setting in your yard or setting down at the marina or something, remember this wind is going to be gnarlier than anything you've seen in a very long time, and it's going to come out of 3 different directions. It's going to come out of the northwest starting at midnight tonight at 30 knots. Then about noontime tomorrow, it's going to spin around and it's going to be blowing straight on the beach southwest at about 15 to 25. Then it's going to turn around on Friday afternoon. It's going to blow straight out of the southeast and it's going to be flat, getting it on. It's going to be blowing 20 knots out of the southeast. Can you imagine what this ocean's going to look like? It is going to be the most unbelievable. And like in the words of Sig Hansen, it's going to look like a giant washing machine. Very, very confused ocean. It's going to make some phenomenal footage. You're going to get some great videos. But just be safe, gang. Be safe. It's not a good time to go, oh, I just want to go out of the harbor and see what it's like on my boat. No, this isn't the time. This isn't the weekend either. The whole weekend sucks. If you look, it's not going to be a good weekend to even think about going fishing. If you're going to go in Huntington Harbor, like Justin was just saying, I mean, not Huntington Harbor, if you're going to go into Long Beach or San Pedro Harbor, just understand it's going to be scary, gnarly. And we talked about this a month and a half ago. The amount of stuff that's going to be floating around in the water, the amount of stuff is going to be incredible because we had a lot of rain the last few months, let's be honest. But now all that stuff, if you're driving down the highway, if you're looking around going home and you're going by one of the rivers, LA River, Santa Ana River, look at anything you see in the rivers. That stuff's all going out into the ocean. All your broken trees, all your dead animals, all the trash, everything's going into the ocean, gang. So if you decide that you have a burning desire to go out on the boat this weekend, just understand you've got a real good you're really pushing your luck. You're going to have a real good chance of hurting your boat, hurting your propellers, hurting your intakes, hurting your heat exchangers. It's not a good weekend to go. It's a good weekend to get honeydews done and do stuff around the house or just hang out and watch the wind blow because it's going to be so gnarly. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I hope we're all talking tomorrow going, this ain't nothing. Nothing happened, Captain Dave. Absolutely nothing happened. We had no rain. We got no wind. But what did you say, Dave? Dave says the winds are already started in South Bay and Chula Vista. So it's on its way, gang. It's going to be insane. It's going to be incredible. So pay attention. Be safe. Get ready for the big show on Friday. Mr. Paul Hebert's going to make it so fun. There's going to be a lot of laughing, a lot of good times, and you guys are going to get to hear a lot of cool stories about where Paul's come from and what he's all about and how he ended up on the show and where the show's headed. There's so much going on in Paul Hebert's world right now, and all the captains. And Dave Marciano will be at the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show. He said he's going to try his best to get by our booth, but I don't know how he'll get out of the Accurate booth. It's going to be so crazily packed at that show. But we'll see. Hopefully he makes it over to our booth. We're hoping. But if not, we'll get him on the show here soon. He said he has no problem being on the show. So, gang, I just want to tell you. Oh, Mike Lewis lives up by Magic Mountain. He said it's already crazy up there. It's pretty dark and windy up there. So, yeah, it's coming. It's a whopper. Be very, very safe out there, gang. I don't want to hear any horror stories about any of our people. We know now. I've told you 100 times on the show. It's going to be incredibly gnarly. Make sure you take care of your boat. If you don't have time, you can't get off work early. When you get off, you got to go check your boat. Make sure that the lines are all right. They're tight. Your bilge pump works. And those covers, we were talking about it. I got sidetracked. I read it. Those covers on your boat, they're going to get ripped off. Oh, I know. Mine's really good, Dave. It says it works really good. Well, if it has any loose spot on it at all where it's not tied down as tight as it can be, it's going to get ripped off. It's going to be, look at that. Look at that storm. Thank you, Elliot. Look at that purple magenta color. That is cruising down into Southern California. I've never seen that on the coast, to be perfectly honest with you. Those of you on Insta and TikTok, you can't see it, but over here on YouTube and Facebook, we're putting up the weather. That magenta area is on its way to Southern California, gang. If you're not on Windy, go to windy.com and look. So we're going to wrap this thing up here, gang. I want to thank you all once again. Our numbers are incredible. Elliot and I, we talk about it almost every day. Our numbers are absolutely mind-boggling, how fast all my channels are growing, how fast my social media presence is growing. We are Elliot and I are super excited. Kelly girl is kind of scared about the overwhelming amount of people that are going to show up at the show. She doesn't think she's going to have enough free stuff to give everybody. I told her, don't worry, the industry will step up to the plate. We won't leave anybody out. But if for some reason you're thinking, what's the best day to be at the show? I would say be there on Thursday because you're going to want to come back. If you wait till Sunday, you're going to be bummed because you're like, I should have been there more than one day in a row. It's going, the seas are flat, calm in Bakersfield. Thank you. That's a good one. Gang, be careful out there. Be safe. I want to hear some good stories tomorrow. Send me your stuff. Send us as much footage as you can. You can email it to yoursaltwaterguide@yahoo.com or WhatsApp me to my phone number, 949-374-0786. Be safe, be careful, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.